So guys, in a recent This Week in Destiny article, Bungie goes on to confirm that we can expect to see the next batch of exotic armor changes coming next season inside of Season 22. So in today's video, I wanted to speculate on which exotic armors could potentially be seeing changes next season. Before we jump into it though, if you're going to enjoy the video, remember to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, as there's a lot of you guys who actually watch my content that aren't subscribed. Subscribing is free to do and it really helps me out here a lot. So if you could do that, I would greatly appreciate it. We're also super close to hitting 500 subscribers, halfway to 1,000, which is my goal to hit by the end of the year. So if you could help with that, once again, greatly appreciate it. But let's just jump into today's video. So let's start off with Titans here. I'm not really well versed inside of Titan and Hunter exotics, but I'll give my best shot at probably showing you guys what exotics are least used and which ones could potentially be seeing a buff. If you guys want to share what exotics you would like to see get buffed or nerfed inside of next season, leave them down in the comments section down below. Let's head over to Titan here. In terms of exotics getting changes, I could potentially see Ashen Wake being given something to do with solar subclass, maybe a solar subclass verb added on to its already existing exotic armor perk, which is called Bring the Heat, where fusion grenades now explode on impact and gain increased throw speed. Final blows with fusion grenades grant grenade energy. Definitely see these getting a little addition to them, nothing crazy, but a small little boost to make these things more used wouldn't be too bad. Also for Titan, I could definitely see Severance Enclosure getting a buff, as this thing never really gets used from what I can see. Its current perk states that powered melee final blows unleash a damaging explosion. Finishes and final blows against more powerful targets increase the radius and damage of the explosion. I could potentially see this thing becoming similar to Chromatic Fire, where the explosion matches the damage type of your subclass and could then spread a subclass verb towards any nearby enemies, or they could just generally increase the size and damage of the explosion by a greater amount, and that would probably help this exotic out quite a bit. Aside from that, maybe even some buffs to Peregrine Greaves and Mark 44 Standardides, as these things do not really get used all that much. In terms of nerfs, can definitely see Antaeus Wards getting a nerf inside of PvP, as these things are super annoying to go up against, especially paired with the Arc subclass or the Titan. Moving on to the Hunter now, I can definitely see buffs coming to Knucklehead Radar as well as Foe Tracer, as these are some of the oldest exotics for the Hunter in the game, and they aren't really getting used all that much. Also, could potentially see a Void buff received for the Graviton Forfeit. Maybe doing something with another key Void word there would be good for this exotic, as it's quite okay-ish, but compared to other exotics, it's not really all that strong. Aside from that, potentially something for the Lucky Raspberry, as that's quite basic in its exotic perk, and hopefully a buff to the Speed Loader Slacks, as these things are actually quite good, but they aren't really being used all that much because other stuff's just quite a bit stronger. Now, going on to the Warlocks here, there are two main exotics that I would really like to see get buffs, that being Apotheosis Veil. I would really like to see this thing get a complete rework, as its current perk is literally useless. It says immediately regenerates health, melee, grenade, and rift energy upon activating your super, and nearby allies recharge class abilities much faster. Thing never gets used, one, because it's really ugly, and two, because its perk just isn't useful at all. Aside from that, another exotic that doesn't really get used because the perk is trash would be Wings of Sacred Dawn. Currently, while Dawnblade is equipped, aiming weapons while your midair suspends you there for a short time, improves airborne accuracy and reduces incoming flinch, as well as grants damage resistance. Weapon hits extend its effect duration and provide a large benefit to airborne effectiveness stat of all weapons. Damage resistance that you get from this exotic is really, really bad, and being in the air in this game just sucks. So I could really like to see this thing get a complete rework, and potentially, just because of the way it looks with the wings and all that, I could see this thing being reworked to give a second charge of an Icarus dash, similar to what Heat Rises already gives you, but without the downside of just having the slower movement whilst Heat Rises is active. That's just my personal take. Will it probably happen? No, because having two Icarus dashes was quite strong for movement, but with it being tied to an exotic, it could potentially come into reality. That's just one of my wishes though, and it probably won't happen, but a guy can hope. That's really it for the exotic changes that I would like to see and are expecting to see next season. Once again, if you have any changes that you would like to see yourself, remember to leave them down in the comment section below. That's all I have for you guys today, so remember to leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.